We turn now to the presidential elections in Côte d'Ivoire, scheduled for Sunday. Joining us in the studio for more on the subject is political analyst and university professor, Dr. Gnaka Lagoke. Mr. Lagoke, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
So the final list of candidates was 10 people. Now we are down to 7. One just withdrew as we spoke. Now, tell me about the reasons that they are talking about withdrawing. I think one of the reasons was about free and fair elections, that the elections were not going to be free and fair. That's one of the complaints they had. What can you tell us?
Yeah, no, the election is, Mr. Ouattara is looking for some credible and transparent election. But of course, this election cannot be credible because, just to give you an example, Mr. Bani, the former governor of the West African Central Bank, who just decided to, to renounce to his presidential bid, does not have even one representative in the Electoral Commission. And then because of the way the commission was created, it is formed by the representatives of political parties. He's an independent candidate.
Isn't it one of the reasons, maybe because he came in late?
Yes, but that's why the country or the Electoral Commission had to adjust in order to meet the needs of those who are running as independent candidates.
So when we think about this, though, some people will say this is the old trick in the book by opposition leaders very often in elections. When they feel like they will not win, they talk about elections being rigged and things like that. What do you respond?
In the case of Ivory Coast, people may think that the elections are going to be peaceful, but my expression is that the elections are going to be pacified, because for 5 years, Mr. Ouattara failed in order to build national reconciliation. Thousands of Ivorians are in exile, hundreds are in prison. Babu has been sent to the ICC, and then the people who believe that there is the justice victor, the victor justice, they think that Mr. Ouattara should have met their needs, and he did not do that. And in order to show the dissenting views, they decided not to be part of a process whose result is going to be the victory of Mr. Ouattara. So it's not about them knowing that they're going to lose, but it is because the process was not fair.
But a few days before the elections, to withdraw from the whole process, what does it tell us in terms of the way their expectations of President Ouattara was not made? When you talk about one-sided justice, this process was there for these years, and they decided to enroll, though.
Yes, but for 5 years, that's the point. Mr. Ouattara came after an electoral stalemate in 2010-11, and we know the country was divided into two, but by a rebellion that he brought to the country. So we were hoping to see Mr. Ouattara engaging the entire nation to build unity and reconciliation. He may build a few bridges and a few roads, but this is not the development, and the Ivory Coast needs to, it's a broken nation, and he could not heal, and he did not do what was necessary to build a real peaceful, united nation in Ivory Coast. That's the situation. Now, that he thought that the most important thing for him was to win an election. Of course he's going to win the election, and the wounds are going to still be there and after the election, and I think that it is a ticking bomb in Ivory Coast. People have to be ready for what may happen after the election.
Quickly, what about Mr. Ouattara's record, which is said to be pretty good? And IMF is forecasting a GDP growth of 8.4%, and the ADB, the FDB came back, returned to Côte d'Ivoire. Are there some indications that something good is being done? No,
this is a very important question. Yes, as an Ivorian, I am happy that the African Development Bank returned to Ivory Coast. I am glad that Ivory Coast debt was cancelled, most of it. I am also glad that Mr. Ouattara built the third bridge in Ivory Coast, even though the condition could have been better. But this is not development. Real development, it is when the private sector is thriving and the economy is in the hands of the national. In the case of Ivory Coast, this is not what is happening. Okay. So the real challenge is not about bridge, it is about the nation, and Mr. Ouattara failed on that front.
Good point. Thank you, Mr. Lagoke. We hope to have you back for more. And Dr. Gnaka Lagoke is a political analyst and university professor here in the United States.